Hey you! Yeah, you! Are you here to learn about how to make the Fat Ronin sandwich? Of course you are! Why else are you watching this video at 2 in the morning? These are the ingredients you'll need and all the instructions on how to use them. First, you need a generous portion of French bread. 1 portion of instant cup noodles, I used spicy chicken flavor. 1 egg. 2 pieces of imitation crab meat. 2 spoonfuls of cornstarch. And a small slice of nori seaweed for a garnish. Okay, for prep time, you just set up the bread, put it on a plate, I guess, just whatever. And then you pour hot water into the cup noodles until you reach the fill line. I used the hot water dispenser, but you can also just boil water. Let that sit for 3 minutes, and don't forget your fork. While that's cooking, crack an egg and fry it. Gotta denature those proteins if you know what I'm saying. Give it a good flip, and make sure the yolk is still runny on the inside. We can leave the egg and crab meat there for a bit, until we finish building the sandwich. At this point, our noodles should be done. Perfect. Now place just the noodles onto the bread, but make sure not to throw out the soup. It's a surprise tool that will help us later. As of right now, you should have a product that looks like this. For this next step, mix your cornstarch with cold water. If you just throw in the cornstarch while cooking, they tend to clump together, and that's a big no-no. You don't want any clumps of cornstarch in there, so you gotta mix it in. The cold water helps you disperse it evenly, so that's why you don't want to put the cornstarch in heat immediately. Meanwhile, it's time for the next step, where we put the egg and the crab meat onto the bread and noodles. Now, I specifically said that the yolk still had to be runny for the egg, and this is because you want it to drip down onto the noodles. We're basically making a poor man's carbonara here. And it perfectly complements the sauce we're about to make. Remember that soup from before? Put it on a pan and start heating it up. This is the part where we mix the soup with a slurry of cornstarch and water. The way this works is that the heat breaks down the intermolecular bonds of the cornstarch, and this allows water to hydrate and bond to it. Therefore, you get a soup that's nice and thick, which in turn can now be used as a gravy or condiment that you can put on the sandwich. Make sure you get that part underneath the egg too. Almost done, now for the finishing touch. Get that slice of nori seaweed and start crumbling it up with your hands, and sprinkle it all over the sandwich. And there you have it, a meal fit for a wandering samurai. It's the perfect storm of college dorm life and a little bit of Asian tradition. And now I'm gonna flex on you with a bunch of photogenic shots of the final product. Cue the montage! Final thoughts. The sandwich can be a little bit messy to eat, so I would recommend wrapping it up. But then again, a lot of people do that with sandwiches anyway, so there you go. If you walk around campus with one of these, I guarantee you friends and family are going to be asking for a bite. But now you know the recipe, so you can just make more. Shout out to my fellow food science majors for supporting my idea. That's all for now. See ya!